welcome to this live video. I'm pretty excited to make this live video now. I think I'm already online now. So yeah, I think that's pretty exciting. Exciting. And in this live video, I'm going to interview Ronnie from who's the organizer of the Raw Fruit Festivals. Hi. And yeah, it's gonna be pretty amazing because Ronnie is definitely one of the people that I look most up to in the raw food community because he's been raw vegan. Hi Ronnie. He's been raw vegan for over 10 years now. And I'm just gonna approach to raw veganism is just so sustainable and long term. And yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. Let me just check. I think that's better. So hi Ronnie. Thank you so much for being on this video or on this interview with me. I think that's pretty awesome. It's really cool.
Hi Eva. Thanks for inviting me on. That's great. Thank you for for wanting to talk.
You're welcome. No, because I really think that your approach to raw veganism makes so much sense, and I think that people who really want to go raw vegan long term, I think they should learn from you because you have just so much value to share. So that's why I'm just like, please listen to his YouTube channel because it just makes so much sense. By the way, Ronnie has an amazing YouTube channel that you should check out if you want to go raw vegan long term. Because always when probably I'm like a fan or something because I really watch your videos because I really think that you have the right mentality or the right mindset to stay raw vegan. So that's why I really think that your videos are great. So yeah,
Thank you
that's
very much,
really
Eva. Yeah, it's something that I've been interested over the years, having the fortune to be having spent a lot of time with other people that were raw vegan and long-term raw vegans. What was interesting to me was what were they doing differently, or how were they thinking differently, or what were their habits. And I was really studying them, and when I was around them, I was watching what they were doing, what they were thinking, what they were saying. When people asked them questions, I was listening closely to their answers. So I was picking up these things from all these people, and I was fascinated by what they were doing. And it's rubbed off on me, I guess, over the years. So I think I've got a good idea of what the correct mindset is, and definitely is thinking about it in a long-term way. And I do think that a lot of the people that struggle with this, it's because they maybe think about it in a short-term way, or they're trying to have shortcuts, or they're not really committed to it yet.
I agree. Like, I think I still don't have 100% the right mindset, so I'm still learning. And yeah, but I really think your videos and your content that you put out helps so much, helps really a lot. So, do you want to say something? No.
I was just going to say that I think everyone's still improving their mindset. Like, everyone still makes little mistakes and things like that, and so you've got to continually be working on that, I think.
That's true. That's true. So I wanted to ask you, like, how come or how did you go raw vegan? What were the reasons? Or I think I already know the story, but I think it's so interesting for other people to know. So yeah, how did you go raw vegan and when and how did it happen?
Yeah, well, if I just go back to when I actually made that change, it was because a friend of mine had sent me, or they just posted the video Earthlings online, and I was ready to watch that, and watched Earthlings, and immediately just thought I'm going to go vegan. But that moment all happened because of years before that of making other shifts and changes in my diet. So it wasn't at all an overnight thing to me. It was little shifts and progressions over the years, but I don't want to go right back into all that. But essentially, I got to the point where I was vegetarian. I was starting to move away from animal products, just being in touch with my body, I guess. I think that I'm not sure exactly why, but I think I was being aware of how the food was affecting me, and I started to think that animal products weren't really great, and very slowly started to move away from them. And when when I saw Earthlings, I was ready to hear that message, but I didn't know it was a healthier diet. I just kind of thought it was an ethical diet, and I also was sort of on a spiritual path. So I was curious to see if there was anything I could do to speed up like my development energetically, spiritually, or whatever, to see if food played any role. I was interested in experimenting with that. And when I went to find out and went online to research about how to do a vegan diet, how to get enough protein on a vegan diet, which was one of the first questions that I was asking myself, I came across raw vegans. And the first video I came across was a man called Tim Van Orden. And he basically was an athlete, and he was saying he doesn't eat protein, he eats raw foods that are high in amino acids, and amino acids are the building blocks to protein. And if he didn't get enough protein, why does he have muscle and all that stuff? And it really all made sense. It was like chimpanzees are stronger than us, all these apes are stronger than us. They all eat fruit and vegetables, and something just made sense. And it also was like, if you're someone that asks yourself, how do human beings fit in the world? Like, what are we and what's our history? A lot of people are very confused by that because our lifestyle is very complex. But if we actually think of ourselves as a fruit eater, everything starts to make sense. And so everything started to make sense. The light turned on, and I just started to slowly experiment with it, and thought this is a natural, intuitive diet, and it'll be, you can just work it out fairly easily. But really struggled with it, in the first few days. Felt really amazing, and then 3 or 4 days later, wasn't feeling so good, and kept learning online, kept on researching, watching people, finding mentors and heroes online. And as I kept on doing that, started to put the pieces together, started to be able to do a week or a month of raw. And as I started to do that, I was having these incredible experiences emotionally, physically, energetically, pains and things disappearing very quickly. Could just feel the detoxification, feel the body changing, feel my mind clearing. And I just knew this is the right path, but it was still very difficult because I've got all these cravings and want to go back to the other foods. And then I see this event, the Woodstock Fruit Festival, and I eventually made a decision. I actually made a decision to go to that. I was thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it. And then I was sitting at a bus stop thinking about it, and a van drove past that said Woodstock on it, and I thought, that's a sign. So I was always following signs, and I went there, and I committed to the lifestyle that were there. I met people that had been doing it for decades, and I was so impressed, and I just loved that environment, loved the people, and I just thought, and the food wasn't great that first year. Actually, the food wasn't so great, but the people were amazing, and we had such a good time. And I just left there going, I'm going to commit to this, and I'm going to help. I'm going to try and share this with other people, or at least try and find some other people that are doing it. And yeah, I committed to the diet for 1 year, went back to Woodstock, and I've just kept going ever since. So it is a roller coaster journey of emotions and whatever else that come up when you try and change your diet.
I agree, I agree. So really fantastic. I mean, it's such a cool story. And also what I wanted to ask, did you have some challenges and how did you overcome them? Because for me, definitely like had some struggles. So it would be interesting to know if you had any and how did you manage them?
Yeah, I definitely had a lot of struggles. I mean, I don't know if I had more struggles than other people, but I definitely had challenges. Firstly, just kind of learning how to actually do it. You know, it's it's so weird because we've been brought up in an environment that's not right. We've been given habits and conditioning that aren't right. We become addicted to foods. It's so weird because I'm around children sometimes, and I see parents like trying to uh, distract their children, trying to get them to eat, trying to force them. It's very weird, and over time, eventually, kids become conditioned to eat this way. We all become conditioned to eat the normal way, the kind of standard way, and you have to unlearn a lot of that stuff, and it's tough. And essentially, you kind of realize a lot of these things are addictions, and there's like you give these things up, whatever food it is, you give it up, and especially when you go 100% raw, you give it up, and you have a day or two where you feel fantastic, and you're like, I'm just going to keep doing this. I've, I just need to. You have that perfect day where everything comes together. You eat perfectly. You feel amazing. You have great energy. You feel so high, and you're like, I just need to keep doing that again and again and again, and that's me. And you would think it's that easy, but a couple of days later, you maybe lose your enthusiasm out of the blue, and you start to question, why am I even doing this? Why have I decided to even? You question yourself. You lose confidence, and you end up going back and eating that food again. And then you do that for a while. You don't feel good. You want to go back to what you felt like on Raw. You go back to Raw, and maybe you once again you go a couple of days. You go the third day. You lose confidence again, but you remember, wait, this happened last time. Just push through. And then you maybe go 4 days or 5 days or 6 days, and then you say to yourself, oh, this is easy. I'm raw now, but maybe I'll just have a little bit of cooked food. And you start to convince yourself, or you kind of lie to yourself. So what I realize is your mind, your emotions, everything is like trying to get you to go back to what you were doing before. And that
Yes.
was the struggle for me, is it took me a while to realize that this is all illusions basically, and that it wasn't really my body saying I need to have potatoes. Like that's not what was happening. And I had to shift eventually where I said to myself, okay, when I crave anything, I'm going to eat fruit. That's what I've pushed myself to do, and eventually that's what helped me kind of continue to roll. Because when I ate the fruit, I realized, well, I didn't really want that thing, and I felt so good about making the choice to eat fruit rather than having the potatoes or whatever. But I was going back and forth for many, many months and really struggling because you would do 10 or 15 or 30 days, and you would think, okay, I've kind of got this. I'll just maybe have a little bit of cooked food. And then you'd go all the way back to having all the cooked food again. It happened to me again and again. Eventually, I said to myself, you know, I need to either go raw or just stick to a cooked diet. I can't do a high raw diet with personally I can't.
Yeah.
Um, and that was a struggle making that commitment. But going to Woodstock, that was the thing, getting around those people, and particularly my friend who's passed away now, but Robert Lockhart. I spent some time with him, which was very important to me, and he was just totally committed to it, and that was that. He had no question about it. He had total confidence in it, and I just picked that up from him. And I just thought I want to be like these people and be as committed and strong on this lifestyle. So that's what I kind of decided to do. And the struggles, it's so funny. You look back and you realize, family things, friends, a lot of these things. But I don't know. I just feel like my life is like kind of been a crazy adventure since then. And have these amazing friendships. I've had great experiences. I've been wonderful places, following fruit, trying to meet up with other fruity people, and I love it. I feel like there's a real family, a real community. It's so fun.
I agree so much. I really think that the Robin community is especially so kind and so nice. So I'm really grateful that I got a little bit into that community. I think it's really also in other areas of your life. It helps you so much to grow as a person. So really grateful
Yeah,
for that.
yeah, and
Really,
I don't know exactly why these events bring such great people together. I don't, because you know, people have said about the festival that we do or whatever, like, oh, you run this great festival and all that, but it's not that difficult when great people come together. It's not that, we don't have to do much. It's like these amazing people show up and everyone has a great time, and it's kind of easy. I don't know. It's not like we have to teach people to be nice to each other or to talk to each other or respect each other. It just kind of happens, and it's. But on another level, people are really open with each other. I don't know if you experienced that. Like vulnerable, open, people
Yes,
sharing things, and in front of the whole group, in front of 100 people or whatever, someone stands up, starts talking about experiences that they probably never tell anyone else about, and everyone's just so open with each other. So it's a real cathartic experience for a lot of people. It's an emotional experience, and yeah, it's put people in the right environment, support them with healthy foods, positive emotions, good energy, and people start to blossom.
I
Yeah,
agree. I think because I was 2 years ago, I was at UK Fruit Festival, which you were the organizer of, and it has such a huge impact on me and on other people because it's really unique. It's, as you said, like you bring people from all of those different countries with the same, like, I don't know, interest in raw food.
yeah,
And I agree that because, for example, I live with roommates who are not vegetarian, not vegan, so I kind of feel alone sometimes in my mindset. So when you get to a place where a lot of people share the right mindset, you can really open up. And that's so nice. And you can just release and be yourself and not be
yeah.
judged. And I think that's amazing. So that's also why I think it's like amazing that you put up the UK Fruit Festival, and I'm really, really grateful for that. So that's really, really fantastic.
Yeah, well, obviously, thank you for coming. I mean, it's amazing that people have supported the event, and hopefully we can continue to keep doing it and bringing great people together. I mean, there's so much more. It's kind of a shame with last year with the coronavirus and the pandemic, what happened, because things were really going in a nice direction. Like it was
Yeah,
going quite well, and there could have been there could have been something else that happened after that, and there's so many like extra things that could have happened, and it didn't come together like that because of the restrictions from last year. So it's a bit of a setback, but I think that it's a test. It's been a bit of a test, and um, I hope we can come back stronger and keep going. And at the very least, I'm always going to have a passion for bringing people together and trying to, because I think it's, Eva, like, and I really think the diet, and no question to me, the diet is the most important factor of health in terms of avoiding disease and things like that. No question for me. But without community in your life, without really strong connections in community, and I don't really think you've got a quality of life.
I
And
agree.
I've been amazed by people in the lockdown, like supporting this. And it makes me realize that some people don't even realize they don't have a life. And it's sort of like there was a lady that commented on a post I made. She said, "My life's not really changed. I've lived the same life this over the lockdown or whatever." And I'm like, "What? How can you say like you, you were like staying in your house, not going to see people, never going to a concert or a live event with other people, never getting together as a group, never coming together in community. Like that's not a life. Like
I
there
agree.
there are parts of you that you've not even touched upon yet. There are aspects of you that only come alive with other people. And if you're spending your life scared under the covers, away, like Eva, there's too many people in the world that they don't want to be around people because people are reflecting back at them the reality of where they're at, and they
Yeah,
don't want. They're scared to like realize maybe I need to grow, maybe I need to develop, maybe I need to improve, maybe there's things I can change, and people are just that's what getting around other people is so great for. We're mirrors to each other, and if people around you are smiling and happy, and then you're doing something right, and if they're not, then you need to say, well, maybe I should change a few things, and that's a great thing, and I just like there's something magic about for humans about community, and we're losing that by living so individually. And I get it, everyone wants to be independent, and that's fine, and people love having their own space, but getting together um, is life changing at these events, you know. And I really changed when I went to Woodstock and other events. It totally brought out another part of me completely. And when you're around people and everyone's supporting you and no one's got an agenda for you, like the school I went to and the place I went to, like people were all putting each other down, you know, insulting each other, putting each other down, fighting with each other, um, competitive and all that stuff. So when you actually get to an environment you can relax and people are asking you what you want to do with your life and they're telling you, yeah, you should do that. That's great. That's a brilliant idea. Here, I can help you. Here's some information. You know, um, that's that's so special, you know, and people that don't like, regardless of UK Fruit Fest, like I support all these other events because people don't get like if you don't go to something like this, what's better than it? Like you can go on holiday to different places, like, but if you're going somewhere like and you're a raw vegan, I can't believe the amount of people I know who are raw vegan that have missed out on these events. I'm like, you really don't get how good this is. You
I
really don't
agree.
understand. And they say, yeah, yeah, I know it's kind of good food and all that. It's like, no, it's another level to that. You don't understand. So, um, yeah, but that, you know, that's what I don't know. That's what we're trying to do. We're just bringing together cool people, and everyone gets excited about it.
I
You
agree,
know?
like I agree so much. When I went for my first fruit festival, it was the festival in the south of Spain, close to Malaga, and it
Yeah,
was so life-changing because I tried the raw vegan diet for a year. Like I had no idea what I was doing, felt alone, and I was not doing it. Like of course had my highs and lows, but then I went to the fruit festival, and it was as you said, like the community really was like you can be whatever you want to be. Like it was so open. And we did also an authentic relationship game. And I started crying for 3 hours because it was this release that there is no judgment. You can just let go. And it was really, really, really
well,
life
yeah.
changing. Really
A
life
lot of people
changing.
have these. A lot of people have these releases and emotional releases, and it's so funny because I remember a guy coming to the festival and he was quite inexperienced. He'd gone to a lot of events in his life and he'd been to a lot of retreats and all this kind of stuff. And he came to the festival and he was like, I didn't realize there was so much involved in this. I didn't realize how much there was part of it. And he was saying, you know, this could be the self love festival. This could be the emotional healing festival. This could be like there was so many aspects of it that everyone gets something different out of it. But I don't know. It's a great community anyway. It's great people that come together, um, and it's definitely a place that people can use as a bit of a springboard. Funnily enough, though, sometimes people do more of the emotional work than committing to the diet change, which is
Of
I think
course.
it's fine. It's whatever people want to do. It's absolutely fine. Um, as long as they're making some kind of change in the right direction, I think that's great. But it's always like you start to realize that we can do as much as we can. We can bring the best teachers. We can make it as clear as possible. But uh, people still have to make their own commitment to it, their own choice, and you can't always get everyone, and you can't always change everyone's mind, and you have to accept that as well. You know.
I agree. Like, I think there is this proverb, like you can put a horse to the water, but you cannot make it drink, no? So I think in the end,
Absolutely.
every person has to take responsibility, and you can give people, I don't know, books and information, but what the people do with the information, it's their responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that have been around this community for 20 years and have still never really, it's not quite come together for them yet. And there's people that are, it's 10 years, there's people that it's 5 years, and they just haven't quite, there's something in them that's still holding them back, or they're scared of something, or they don't believe something, or whatever. So I was fortunate. I mean, the stuff came together for me pretty quickly, and I got around the right people, and I was prepared to make the changes and make the sacrifices, and I've I've benefited from that. But for
I
other people, it's not clear, you know.
Yeah, I think one thing that really, really helped me in my mindset was to say, okay, raw food is my priority. And whatever I do, like which kind of job, whatever I do, raw food and my health is always my priority number one. And I think that's such a nice mindset to have if you want to make the raw food thing work for you, know? Because
Absolutely.
it really takes a little bit of sacrifice sometimes. So
Yeah, priority is a great phrase, because for most people, they're not prioritizing healthy lifestyle. They're prioritizing a lot. Often, young people are kind of trying to find their way in the world, trying to make something of themselves. Maybe they're focusing on their family. Maybe they're focusing on their career and their job, making money, and trying to establish themselves and trying to and prove themselves to other people, and getting a nice car and a nice house and all these things, and having a good position, and people get caught up in that, and it's all to do with comparison with other people, and that's a very
I don't know, Ronnie. I think maybe we have to make a little break, but I want to, while Ronnie, maybe his internet is not working, but I want to share before Ronnie comes back is about the raw vegan bundle because Ronnie has inside the raw vegan bundle, and it's really, really fantastic. It's, I think, 101. It's called The Raw Food Lifestyle 101, and it's an amazing, amazing book that if you want to make this raw food journey work for you, you should check it out because it really helps you. And there's so many great advice and information inside of this book, and you have to understand that Ronnie is doing this. You've paused for a second. Uh, Wait a sec. I think it should work now. And you. So yeah, and oh,
sorry
sorry,
about that.
I'm sorry. I don't know. Like I think your video stopped, so I didn't know what to do. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah, you paused. It paused on the screen for me as well, but that's fine. We're back.
okay. I was just talking about your amazing book, The Raw
Oh,
Food Lifestyle 101. No, it's amazing. It's so much amazing advice. And how did you come up with this idea for this book?
well, what I was trying to do was I started to realize that, the idea of putting a book together is kind of like quite a daunting idea, But I thought to myself, wait a minute, I've done a lot of writing. I've done a lot of articles, written articles and emails and informational materials. And I thought, what if I just try and bring this together? So I went back to all the things that I'd written basically and put it together in one document and started to go through it and just started to edit it, improve it, change it a little bit. And I thought, like, okay, and my aim was to try and get like 101 articles and emails, and I basically managed to do that. So that's why it's called the Raw Food Lifestyle 101. And also that kind of means like, I guess it means like beginners kind of thing. Um, and it was quite simple like that. I guess I kind of thought like, I've got enough information here that this could help people. And I always want to go back to that. Like there's a lot of people out there that should have a book out or should have something out, and they don't feel ready, and they don't feel whatever. But um, as long as you're putting out some truthful information and stuff that you feel is good, then it can help someone. It can really help someone else, and it's worth trying to put it out there. So I don't think it'll be like the last book I ever write. I think I'll probably write hopefully better ones in the future. But I think it's a pretty clear presentation of how I mostly feel about most things still, the raw vegan diet. And I definitely started to get a bit of a feeling like I would see certain messages go out there that I feel are damaging to this movement,
Yes, I agree.
which I talk about in my YouTube channel. And so I just thought I need to start putting out another side to this because something's been missed here. And there's not, honestly, there's not that many people. There's a lot, well, apart from in this bundle, but there's not a lot of people before this that are genuinely sort of 100% raw or have really experienced long-term 100% raw that share exactly what that's like. A lot of my friends that have done that lifestyle long-term haven't made their books yet or haven't done their thing. Um, so I just thought it was worthwhile putting something out. Um, so yeah, I guess that's the story of that. And I put it together in Thailand. So I was over in Thailand and I was, working on it every day. I was just eating mangoes at the time. So it's quite good because if you just eat mangoes or just eat one fruit, it kind of, you know, I've got this habit like if I need to work on something, but there's some food there, I'll go and eat the
Yeah,
salad.
me too, me too, me too.
Right.
Same.
So if you just eat one fruit for a while, you get rid of that like thing of like always wanting to eat or going to get more food or whatever. So I became very focused for a little while and got the book together and put it out. So I've still got to get the hardcover edit. I've not or the paperback version. I've not done that yet, but um, it's yeah, I've got some good reviews for it and stuff. So I'm glad about that.
I think it's amazing, and I think it's so important to read because I feel like you have also this approach that you are in favor of just eating enough calories because you want to do it long term, no? And I think there's like a small
Yeah.
little other movement in the raw food community, which is a lot more like a lot
Okay,
more
that is a big yeah.
strict.
That's a big important thing. I think Marina was asking me about my book, but that's a big important thing. Is this eating enough thing and thinking of it like a lifestyle that you can actually do long term. Absolutely. And I've just been around a few people and I've coached with people that their mindset and the way they're approaching it is cleanse, detox, kind of trying to the sins of yesterday, trying to make up for it today by fasting. This is
Yes,
this is a bad way of doing it. Like the idea that oh, I had a really bad weekend, so I'm just going to not eat for 2 days. Like that's a really messed up mindset when it comes to food. And you know, you need to get right back to trying to put your diet together properly and eat healthily. And people, this is as you might have heard me talk about, like this yo-yo, this kind of binge purge cycle. And so
yes,
many people get caught up in that. Like it's so dangerous. It's not dangerous. No, people, it's not dangerous, but it's a waste of time. And I see people do that for years. Like it's so frustrating when people are doing that over and over, and they eat not very good or very high fat or lots of salt or whatever it is, and then they fast, and then they do juice fasting, and then they binge again, and it's back and forth. And a lot of it, if people were honest, is probably related to weight loss and their image. And it's very sad for me that the people are very, some people are very concerned about their image and their weight and all that stuff. And I think you should be concerned. But the worst thing to do if you want to get to a good weight is to fast and binge. Like that's how you put on weight. Like
I
this,
agree. I agree.
and people can't see that sometimes. They're like, no, how does fasting make you put on weight? It's like, well, the fasting doesn't, but it's the behavior pattern fasting is often a behavior pattern of fasting and binging, and you can always out binge a fast in terms of you can gain more weight in 30 days than you can lose in a fast in 30 days. So what you really want to do is get to the point where you're eating it, where you're not putting the weight on anymore, right? And then you maybe want to bring it down a little bit so you start to lose weight. Like, and it's boring, it's boring. Like losing weight or whatever is a boring thing. Like you eat well and you eat a little bit less than you need, and you naturally lose weight, but it takes time. It's not fast, it's kind of slow process. And if someone's got 50 or 60 pounds to lose and you tell them, well, it might take a year to do this, it's kind of frustrating to hear that, and,
Yes.
and they'll hear about people doing a fast and be like, oh, I dropped 20 pounds in a month or whatever. And it's like, oh, that sounds good. And also people think, oh, the reason that I've got this weight on my body is it's waste. It's stuff I need to detox off. It's waste products and stuff stuck in my colon. And so when they don't make progress quickly, they're like, what's going wrong? Why is my body not getting rid of this stuff? And it's like, there is no stuff. Like, you've put on some weight and there's nothing wrong with that. The ironic thing, Eva, like I think um, I've often thought people that are uh, a little bit overweight, or I don't want to say that, but like bigger people, I think they look great, like men and women. Like honestly, I think, and so it's not to me about image or whatever. Like I think they look fine. I think they look great a lot of the time. Um, but health wise, it's not a good thing to. I don't think there's any positive reason to be have extra pounds on your body you don't really need. And when you lose weight, which I did last year, it's amazing that when you pick up the weight you used to walk around with, the extra weight, you're like, I cannot believe I used to have all that extra weight in my body. So that's the benefit of the raw vegan lifestyle. It's a fairly predictable, easy way of losing weight if you do it right. But the, people come into it with restriction mindset, with um, eating disorder type mindsets, and it's not helpful. This
No, I
diet is not really about restriction. It's an abundance diet. It's kind of an eat everything you want diet, as long as what you want is fruits and vegetables. So, but but once you fall in love with this lifestyle and once you get to that point, I believe that you enjoy it. And I speak to other raw vegans and I say, we enjoy this lifestyle more than anyone else enjoys their diet. There's no diet out there. No, there's no food that tastes good enough. Like, and there's food that tastes great. Like, I'm not saying these things don't taste great, but they don't taste so much better. And I feel like, Melissa's got the burger book as part of this bundle. Chris has got um, Nate's got the nice cream book. Chris has got not part of this bundle, but independently, Chris has got a pizza book. But he's got the spring meal plan as part of this. All they've got these recipes that you can do these recipes, and you have them. And you're like, yeah, this is pretty much as good as whatever any pizza I've ever had. This is pretty much as good as any burger I've ever. It's the same basic components, the same basic flavors. So um, you can do that. But I mean, to me, the simpler you get in this diet, the more you just appreciate fruits, the more you just go, oh, I'd really like a pineapple right now, and like life is easy and enjoyable, and it's so good, and you fill yourself up with it, and you satisfy yourself, and you feel great afterwards, and that's the way it should be. That's absolutely
so
the way it should be.
I agree so much. Yeah, and I think that's also fantastic about the raw vegan bundle now because you have so many different recipe ebooks. So it's for people who love the more simple lifestyle and they have like information about how to do this lifestyle. And there's also so many amazing recipes for people who want to learn how to make delicious for example, raw vegan burgers or stuff like this. So that's so cool that there are so many different, like so many different ebooks about so many different topics. And that's really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like a lot of the stuff in the bundle is recipe books. There's quite a high proportion of recipe books. When I started off doing this, I was a bit like, I don't need recipe books. I'll kind of work this out. And to be honest, like I made so many mistakes trying to make dishes, trying to make food, trying to make things that were tasteless. I didn't really know how to make a salad. I would go to like a festival or an event and I'd be having a salad. Like, I really enjoy this, but I don't know why when I go home, everything I make is like
Yeah,
garbage, you know?
yeah.
Like, but I was stubborn and not wanting to like just read the books. I think I had some of the books, I just didn't follow the recipes. I was like, oh, that's too much work. It's too much, you know? And then I started to either go to some classes or get some recipes and try them. And I'm like, why have I not been just doing this all along? Like, I should have just got these books and learned and been making this amazing stuff from the start. And so as I go through the the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, there's the burger book, the spring meal plan, the dude food book. Then there's savory type recipes, and there's also sweet recipes, sweet treats and smoothies with Camilla. There's 7 Day Meal Plan with Olivia Herzog. There's sauces. There's more natural hygiene recipes, so simpler recipes. There's the Meal Prep Accelerator, Sun-Fired Food, Aris Latham. Like, he's a real like gourmet. So there's some gourmet stuff in this as well. It's a little more, you don't want to have that all the time maybe, but good for now and again. And there's a ton of recipe books. So this is for, if you're looking for recipes, this bundle is like no brainer. But there's also a bunch of books in there, like the food journaling book. There's the tapping course. There's uh, Kelsey's thing course. There's a business course with Ted Carr. There's presentations from the weight loss conference. So there's weight loss stuff. Like, there's pretty much covering everything. And
Everything.
so it's so awesome. Tell me, I'm trying to find your one. So what are you contributing to this?
I'm doing a smoothie recipe ebook because I'm also very, very simple because I don't know. So for me, making smoothies has helped me so much to stick to the raw vegan lifestyle. And I would say still today I'm doing at least one smoothie a day, or maybe not every day, but very consistent, almost every day, at least one to have like my main calories. And it's almost all the time, like with bananas, maybe mango, papaya,
Yeah,
pears, cacao, whatever. And it has helped me so much because I think they are so quick to make. And if you have like a job or university or school, whatever it is so nice to have like this smoothie in 5 or 10 minutes and then you're done and you can focus on something. So I don't know. So that's why I have like
yeah.
very, very simple smoothie recipe ebooks that everyone can do. And
There's
yeah,
so
so
many.
that's,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's so many little tips involved in smoothie making that over the years you pick up and you learn over time. But looking back, I completely forget. I didn't know anything about this when I started off, so I worked out things through making mistakes and things like that. But yeah, like a smoothie recipe book or something is such a great start and will really help people a lot. And there's just little small things, and there's people that worry about, is this too much in the smoothie? What can I add together? Some people make mistakes. I've seen people make crazy mistakes with what they've combined. I'm just
yeah,
like,
no,
that's gonna taste terrible. There's no way that's like, people have ruined smoothies that they've given me. I'm like, why did you put that in? You've just ruined this smoothie. Like, it's depressing. So
actually,
yeah, a
yeah,
proper
no, but
smoothie book's good.
what did you say?
Just saying, a proper smoothie book is a great thing.
Yeah, because I also to be honest, I also made some smoothies and they were not so nice. So I also had to like try out different recipes and try out. And then I was like, okay, I have like my number of smoothies that really work are really simple and just make an ebook and that's it. Because that's just really what helped me. And yeah, so pretty excited for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, yeah, so what's your kind of perspective on all this? How do you look at this lifestyle and how do you approach it?
Actually, I think I'm very, very similar to you. Like I would, and also the 80-10-10 diet and Douglas Graham. So that has not changed that much since I started. I think I was really lucky that from the very beginning, I read the 80-10-10 book. I think I was trying the diet for 1 week and then got the book and then read the book, and that really, really helped me to because I mean it's common sense, no, and then you read it and you're like, okay, makes sense, low fat and all of that, so that has not changed that much. So I would say
Hmm. Hmm.
fruit for and smoothie for breakfast and lunch, and then for dinner salad or fruit before the salad. So that has been basically what I'm doing. And of course, like because life is crazy now, so sometimes I'm eating salad for lunch, but I think for digestion it's always best to eat it for dinner. And yeah,
Yeah.
but I made a lot of mistakes, and also like I had this slow transition and I had to learn so much because for me I started when I was 17, so I was not really that uh, you know grown or secure in
Yeah.
myself, and I really had to, for me raw food was also a way to grow up a little bit, to become more independent from people, to become more secure in my own decisions, to be like this is something that I do. And yeah, for me, that was really, really something that I had to learn, but I'm grateful that I'm still learning it. And I can definitely say that, for example, when I started, it was very difficult to get rid of bread, for example, because in Germany it's the staple food, but now I'm not craving it anymore. So for me, the slow transition has definitely been very, very helpful for sure.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah,
sounds great.
so that's it. I would say 80-10-10. Love it. Still think it makes the most sense. Probably what I'm gonna do now is I really want to try out the recipes in the bundle. Maybe get a dehydrator. I would really just want to try out new recipes and
For
yeah.
sure, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that I think there's different seasons for sometimes you want to go very simple and sometimes you want to do recipes and sometimes you want to eat just one fruit for a while and sometimes you want to eat just fruit or whatever and there's different things, but I think it always goes back to the principles. I agree with you, like of 80-10-10 and Doug Graham stuff, and so I think that'll always be the book for me to kind of go back to, and I kind of I hope he puts out some more stuff. I think he's got a lot more to add to that he's not really come out with fully, but yeah, I just think when you understand these principles, like it's the food that your body's in line with, it's all that kind of stuff. It just makes so much sense.
Yeah,
So yeah, and I think we probably weren't making dehydrated food in the jungle, but at the same time, maybe we were a little bit. Like the food can dry very quickly in the sunlight, so yeah. But I don't mind eating dehydrated food now and again. I don't do it every day, but more so that's just because it's so simple to eat fruit on its own, or just eat some things simply. My
yeah,
favorite salad for many years was I called it the Ronnie salad because it was just plum, tomatoes, and lettuce, and I loved it. And no sauce, no. Like people would say, "What's the dressing?" I'm like, "There's no dressing," and I loved it because I didn't have to even use the blender. Like it was just so simple. I was so lazy, just ate it instantly. So, um, but I bought Chris's book in the past and learned how to make his pizzas, and I would have never learned that. I would have never worked that out, not in a million years. So I was able to make these amazing raw vegan pizzas and stuff, and I love that. And I've been able to have dinner parties of people that can't believe that what I'm making them is raw food, no sugar, no salt, no oil, and they're like, "What's in this?" And you're like, "It's frozen bananas made into an ice cream. It's just bananas." Or they're like, "What's this?" And you're like, "Well, it's just cashews, dates, lemon juice, whatever, celery or something." And they're like, wow, this is amazing. You're like, yeah, fruits and vegetables taste good if you put them together properly. Like, it's not that you don't need salt and sugar and all that stuff. But yeah, that took me a while to understand that. It was really Doug Graham as well. It showed me that in a class, and he was talking about the different flavors that you put together for a salad, for a dressing, and that really brought it together in my mind. And I paid probably £500 or something to attend an event in Denmark, and £200 or £300 to fly there and get there. I spent a lot of money going to these events to learn like these little tidbits of information, these
Yeah.
little bits. And this bundle that's out right now is $49, and it's a huge amount of value. So, and Nate was talking about the years of wisdom, the
I
hundreds of
agree.
years of life experience. So people can get a lot of value out of this, of course, if they use it. And I'm assuming that it's in your link in your bio, if people want to go and check it out.
Yeah, so you can check it out either if you click on Ronnie's link or my link, and then you can check out the website. And then if you're interested, you can buy it. And I like for me, because it's over 55 books for the value of over 1,600 euros or something like that. And for me, when you hear the number 1,600 euros, well, okay, but it's really honestly, it's worth it. And I think I personally cannot understand how people cannot even check out the website because it's such a unique, amazing offer that you will probably not get any any other time. So I would say if you're interested in raw food, I mean it's a must to just at least check out the website and you have
Yeah.
so many ebooks. And
Well,
the thing is people like it takes, it's not just you sit down one day and you write an ebook. There's so much wisdom, so many years that people compress into one ebook, and there's so much work behind it. And I think when you read the ebook you can save so much time. And I think it's just you in life, to go ahead in life you have to invest into things in order to improve. And you can try out things for yourself, but as you said, it's very hard to come up to the ideas to, okay, how do I create a raw vegan pizza or a raw vegan burger that it tastes good? So if you just invest a little bit of money you can get out so much from it. So that's why I would definitely say click on the link in Ronnie or in my bio and just check out the website. For real, it's gonna be so worth it.
yeah, I think the value of it is very clear, and it's as I've said to people, like I've seen people buy one of Melissa's books for the same price as
Yeah.
this entire bundle. So I've because of the UK price difference, um, and you've got a couple of people who had so many connections that they've been able to put this together. There's not a lot of people that could have put this together and got so many people to contribute, and who had the trust and everything that everyone was happy to work with them. And this is a really special moment for this community again, because the community has been through good times and bad times and all that kind of stuff. And it had highs and it's had lows. And we've been trying to search for our place again for a while and trying to figure out how do we express ourselves to the world about this diet and everything. And this is a special moment. People are coming together again. People are getting excited. People are helping out. And we all want the best for people. And we've got this wonderful solution to so many world problems. And health is the obvious
Yeah.
one. Yeah, health is the obvious one. But like, I just can't even imagine what the world would be like if we all eat fruit together. Um, the impact on the environment, it's like the environment's sorted. That's just sorted. Probably we'll all start to migrate a little bit towards sunnier climates, maybe. We won't even need to be using as much energy heat wise and stuff, although we might want to stay in the north, whatever. Um, and people will change. People are not their real self. No way. People are crazy. Like, like people are just. I think the food is just making people crazy. And
I
we are not
agree.
carnivores. We don't want to kill things. There's no human being in the world apart from a psychotic. Like people that kill animals are psychotic people. Do you know what I mean? Like if you have a child, I've thought about
Yeah,
this. Like if you're one of your friends that's a conventional eating diet parent, if their child came home from school and they said, "What did you do today at school?" and "Oh, we were taught about where our food comes from," or "What happened?" Well, they brought a pig into the class and it was walking about, and then they gave us some knives and we all went to stab the pig and we cut it apart, and then we cut it. Your parent would be like, "Wait, what? What happened at school?" You'd be like, "Well, we were killing the pig and cutting it open, and it was squealing, and there was blood going all over the place." Your parents would be like suing the school, like, "You've put my child through a traumatic experience." That is that is just an obvious sign that this standard diet that people eat, is not right at all. And people are not carnivores. People don't want to hurt animals. I mean, you see any wildlife film of an animal getting chased or bitten or a predator's trying to kill, people aren't on the side of the predator. They're on the side of the animal trying to get
yeah,
away. You know, and when the animal gets caught and starts to get eaten, people are freaking out about it. They're like, "Why didn't you step in and help out? And why didn't you?" It's like, look at what you're doing. Like, why aren't you making a choice to stop this happening to the animals that you're eating? So, massive cognitive dissonance is what it's called. And um, I saw this video the other day of like a crocodile that had attacked a zebra, and the zebra kind of got away, but you thought, "Oh, it's kind of got away," but it was injured so much that its guts were hanging out, and you're like, "Oh, it's over for this zebra." And people in the comments, you're just like looking at all these comments about, and you're thinking, there's no one that wants the crocodile to win. There's no one that
yeah, yeah.
everyone wanted the zebra to get away, but it just didn't. And we're not predators like that. And I I think it's a special thing. We're all part of this movement, and we're all playing our part. And we're inspired because we know, even though we've made these sacrifices and it's difficult, we know that we're helping a better world happen. And there's a great phrase that's really inspirational to me. It's societies grow great when old men, was the original. When societies grow great when old people plant plant trees whose shade they will never sit in. And I think that we are planting the trees psychologically, philosophically, or whatever, for maybe 2 or 3 or 4 generations in the future, or it might happen faster, we don't know exactly, to actually be brought up in a world where they're surrounded by fruit and fruit trees, and when that world is in place. And that's a beautiful thing. And I think that kind of inspires us all a little bit as well. Is this bigger vision about this? There's a much greater vision. We can all play a part in that. And people might laugh at us now, but in 100 years' time, or people will look back and go, "Wow, they were really right. Like they were doing something really special." So that's pretty cool. We're all
I
making a
agree.
little mark in the world.
I agree. I agree with everything you say. And I think that's something that I really admire about you is because you're really like passionate about it and you help so much without necessarily getting the recognition that, for example, some people do in different areas. I don't know, manager, whatever. And I think that's really, really incredible because you kind of have the vision of like doing good and helping people. And that's really, really, really admirable, I think.
Yeah, it's very hard. Like it is hard to keep going doing this and the festival and all these difficult things, but it's 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 worth it's worth doing difficult things. And one thing I think, I don't criticize people for this, but we have people in this movement and this lifestyle who come in, really get it, love it, get on the fruit, and then they kind of go on a vacation the rest of their life. They go and hide away in an island somewhere, and there's people that do that, and that's great. But I just feel we've got such a powerful thing to share with the world that we should get out there and be in the middle of things and be, be part of the world, be part of life, and create and do difficult things and make things happen and help people and support. And we've got so many people we can help. But Eva, I need to go. I've got another live coming up
For
now.
sure,
We went
for
so
sure,
long.
for sure.
But everyone go
So
and click on the link in Eva's bio and go and check out the book and go and get the bundle right now. Very
exactly. So
important.
yeah, I just want to say thank you so much. Like I love talking or I love hearing what you have to say or listening to you. And it was really a fantastic interview. So thank you so much. And yeah, keep going with your videos, keep going with the UK Fruit Festival. I
Yeah.
hope it's gonna happen.
I
And
really
yes.
appreciate all your comments on my videos and stuff. Thank you very much.
I really do, like, even if I don't comment, I usually watch them. So
Oh,
yeah.
thank you.
So
See
yeah.
you soon,
So
Eva.
have a wonderful evening or day, and yes, bye.
Bye, bye.
So also thank you for watching this live video. I'm just gonna read through the comments. And yeah, and the question was, when do I start doing content again in German? The thing is, the Raw Vegan Bundle is in English, so kind of to talk about Raw Vegan Bundle, I have to talk in English, but I really try to do a lot more videos on YouTube, especially in German. And yeah, so I thank you so much for watching this live video. I think it's such a pleasure to talk with Ronnie. As I said, he's definitely one of the biggest inspiration that I have in the raw vegan community, because I truly believe that what he has to say is is so logical. So I really love that about the advice that he shares. So if you have not yet, check out Ronnie's YouTube channel, check out Ronnie on Instagram. And also, if you're interested in the Raw Vegan Bundle, it's illogical not to check it out at least. So if you want to check it out, then click in the link in my bio or in the link in Ronnie's bio, and then you can get to the website. So have a wonderful evening or day or whatever time zone you're in, and a lot of love to you. Bye bye.